Hey YouTube, it's Ben here with the 60-gallon Cichlid tank. I want to talk to you about a little bit of a battle I had with nitrates. You know, it seemed like no matter what I would do, I couldn't get the nitrates below 50 parts per million. So I would service the canisters and do a deep vacuuming of the substrate, and I would remove all the decor and do a good vacuuming, and still I'd end up at right around 50 even after servicing both canisters. So I was a little bit stumped, and at first I was kind of in denial. So I just didn't believe the test kit. I didn't believe the strips, so I'd go out and pick up an API master test kit that came out around 50. Then I went out and bought a C-Chem nitrate test kit that came out around 50. So finally I couldn't deny the evidence. I was obviously running a little bit high on my nitrates, even though my nitrites were at 0, and of course ammonia was 0, chlorine was 0. Everything else was perfect. It was just I couldn't get those nitrates down. So finally what I did is I removed the grate. I had a grate underneath the substrate. And because I figured, you know what, when I vacuum, that grate is probably holding some of these shells in place and not letting them move, so that I can get some of the waste that's under the shells and coral. So what I did is I went ahead and removed the entire the entire grate, took all the decor out. And you can see here in these pictures, this grate here ran the entire length of the tank, 48 inches. So I had to definitely maneuver a few things around to get it out of the tank, but I did. Then I removed all the decor to do that. And as you can see, I have quite a bit of substrate in here. So I then proceeded to start to remove and reduce substrate. And as you can see, I filled up a couple buckets with decor, lava rock, and decorations. And I also filled up another bucket almost entirely with just some of the Eco-Complete Caribbean Sea substrate. And I'm not going to be reusing it. I'm going to be this substrate here is about 2/3 of a bucket. And I'm just going to be go ahead and offer it to anybody who wants it. It was quite a project. I took the water level down, created a lot of cloudiness, which of course put stress on the canisters. So I went ahead and serviced the canisters as well. It was pretty much an entire afternoon. So it looks, according to this test, like, you know, to the naked eye, to my eye here, and I'm not sure if the camera is going to capture that, it actually looks a little bit lighter than 40. Not sure if you can catch that with the camera. But to the naked eye, it looks just a tad lighter than 40. So for the first time, it looks like I've gotten in between 40 and 20. Just a tad lighter than 40 on the parts per million. That's a big improvement. I was testing out in the 80, you know, between 40 and 80 is where I've been testing out. Now it looks like it's dipped just a little bit below 40. I'll test it again in a few days and see where it comes out. But it looks like I'm on the right path here to get this nitrate situation resolved. According to the Tetra Easy Strips, you can see here, according to the Tetra Easy Strips, I'm actually lighter. I'm between the first two marks on the Tetra Easy Strips. So that's telling me that I'm actually below 20 according to the Tetra Easy Strips, because you can see that's lighter than this one here. That's 20. So according to Tetra, I'm under 20. And as you can see, everything else is perfect. Nitrates at 0, Water's the GH is very hard water, just like they like it. Chlorine at 0. The KH is ideal, and my my pH is up here in the high 7s. So according to the strips, I'm doing great. So just depends who you trust. But so I have a question for you. So here's my question for you. If you had serviced the canisters and you had done a major substrate vacuuming, I mean really like removed the substrate, cleaned it and put it back in, you know, I mean really did a major cleaning, and still had high nitrates, where would you look at that point? What would be your suspicion of what's going on? Would it be possible that some of the beneficial bacteria producing media, maybe that's clogged, and maybe that's causing a spike in nitrates? Is that possible, that could be causing a spike in nitrates? Could your beneficial bacteria actually be contributing to nitrates? Let me know what you think. Let me know what would be your next move if you had done something similar, if you had done canister servicing, major substrate cleaning, and still had high nitrates. What would you do? That's the question. What would you do? All right? I'm very curious to hear what you'd have to say. All right, so I think I've got mine under control. Looks like I'm below 20 according to the strips, between 20 and 40 according to the master test kit. The C-Chem kit showed that I was a bit higher, but I'm going to go with the 2 out of 3 and go with that. But I would like to hear what your next step would be if my nitrates had tested higher again. Would you have considered maybe swapping out some of the media that you have in your canister, on the assumption that it might be clogged, or maybe scrub it, maybe do something like that? Let me know what you think. Very curious. All right, so thank you so much, and as always, I appreciate you stopping by and taking a look.